Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? And welcome to Homeschooling in Oils. All right. Had to see whether or not we are live. I'm just checking to see are we live. And I'm seeing that we are live. Okay. So right now we are actually going to have some conversations about homeschooling in general. We are right now live in several different areas. So we are live right now on YouTube and also Facebook. So hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. My name is Tina Ramsey. I am the founder and CEO of Homeschooling in Oils. I am a homeschooling mother. I am a certified female wellness and empowerment coach, and also the owner and CEO of healthehoneypot.com. That's HEAL, thehoneypot.com. And everything that I do focuses on 3 tiers: education, health, wellness. And that's what I do. So if you see anything that I'm doing, it's always dealing with something with education, whether it's dealing with your health or dealing with homeschooling, or and then I let you know about different products and different things that I use. But this video, or these videos in particular, is focusing on primarily homeschooling, because you see homeschooling and oils to the bottom. So Homeschooling Oils just is basically a hub, a place in which we have these healthy conversations in regards to homeschooling. We talk about the things that most homeschoolers don't talk about. I'm very transparent about the homeschooling experience. I am because I feel that in order for us to truly grow, in order for us to have that level of success that we desire for our families, and that in any aspect of life, we have to be honest, and we have to drop the facade, so to speak. And so we're going to talk about some things, because I volunteer a lot within several different groups and avail of my services. I'm also a homeschooling consultant and a wellness consultant as well, so you can book me for that as well. But today we're going to talk about moms. Now, dads, I know that you're homeschooling too. I know. But in particular, I'm talking to the moms today. Is because, for number one, I'm a woman. And for number two, as women, we take care of so many individuals, and we tend to not do it for ourselves. So we're going to talk a little bit about the homeschooling experience. We're going to be a little bit raw, a little bit transparent, because I want all the newbies that are just starting to homeschool to not start with unrealistic expectations of what your homeschooling experience is going to be. I do not want you to feel like you're failing because you're not reaching this unrealistic plateau. Over here at Homeschooling Oils, we talk about your health, we talk about your wellness, we talk about the emotional side of homeschooling that nobody talks about. We talk about the facades that some individuals have when you see it on social media. Everything is not peaches and cream all the time in homeschooling, but you can, if you desire to work in homeschool, you can work in homeschool. If you are sick and you want to homeschool your children, you can definitely homeschool. And if you are coming from public school due to the COVID-19 and you are thrust upon the homeschooling world, you can still homeschool. How do I know? It's because I had faced all of those situations at one time or another. Not the COVID now. That's new for all of us. But I have been homeschooling way before the COVID hit. And I also had terrible health when I first started homeschooling. And now through my health and wellness journey, I have a measure of health. I'm actually helping other women to find their new happy in regards to health and wellness, in regards to homeschooling. We're going to have, I'm going to have some things that are private, some things that is going to be made public. But we're going to talk about how this is going to be very instrumental for homeschoolers that are just beginning. And we're going to talk about some topics, which are relaxing as moms, because we do too much. I'm one of them. We're going to talk about homeschooling blues, number 2. And we're going to talk about what you wish you knew before that you know now. And we're going to talk about curriculum, dealing with book sales and all this different stuff like that. Because right now everyone's gearing up for the 2020-2021 school year. And I have something that's amazing that's going to actually help you on that, where you don't have to spend a lot of money, but you still can get the same end results that you desire. So let's talk about a little bit about relaxing. I want to encourage and employ on all of you moms out there. Listen here to me. Listen to me. I want you to learn how to put yourself first. You heard what I said. I want you to learn how to put yourself first, meaning some of you can't even remember or don't even have in your vocabulary what the word relax mean, right? I know I'm guilty of it too, because I work a lot. I do a lot of volunteer work. And so I need to take my same advice with even dealing with what I do with my volunteer works, right? Because I really love what I do. We have to learn how to take a break. Now, taking a break don't necessarily mean that you have to go on a vacation somewhere. It don't necessarily mean that you have to have the house without the kids in the house. It can mean that you just get to a place where you are doing something that you want to do, that's just for you, that feel a little selfish, but you need to do it anyway. Meaning, how about, you know as well as I know that although we love our children, because I love my babies, I would give them my life if it came down to it, because I love my babies, you know. But I mean, sometimes you need a little break from your babies. And anybody who have toddlers, anybody who have, Lord help you if you have toddlers, because let me tell you, you can run to the bathroom to use the bathroom and you will see them little hands up under the door calling, mommy, mommy, mommy. So, and anyone who have toddlers, babies on your hip, you know what I'm talking about. And then you have older children, medium children, like meaning, when I say medium, meaning like pre-adolescents. And you have a lot going on. And if you're a wife, you have all this different stuff going on, right? Even if you're a girlfriend, you have a lot going on. Or a single parent, you have a whole lot going on. So I just want to let you know that it's okay for you to take a break from your children. You just make sure they're in a safe spot. Use some of that PBS, some of them nice little Disney movies to play while you go get 15 minutes of time to yourself. Now, they could be right here in the living room and you're in the kitchen, but you can still see them, but you're having a moment of self-reflection, a moment that you are relaxing for yourself, a mental break. With me, I have older children now, so I can literally go in and take me a long bath if I want to. But when they was younger, it was a little bit more difficult. So I used to pull out a Disney movie and let them get them with their little snacks, and they can sit there and I'm right there. I can see them, but I'm still having that moment that you need. Because listen, guys, ladies, you cannot continuously burn the candle at both ends. You can't do it. At a certain point, both ends are going to meet and you're going to crash. You know how I know? It's because it happened to me. So you have to learn how to take those 5 minutes, those 10 minutes, that's 15 minutes break, whatever it is that you need to do in order to relax yourself for that period of time. That's totally for you and it's not selfish. You need to do that. Even if you're homeschooling, even if you're working, whatever the case may be, give yourself that self-care, because if you don't, you're going to wish you had, because you can't take but so much. And that makes the moments where you lose your cool. You know, you just can't take anymore. You're only human. So you need to learn how to take a moment to relax. If that is just you taking a piece of chocolate and eating it and savoring it. Some of you love coffee, having that cup of coffee with nobody calling you, waking up earlier before your children so you can have that 15 minutes of sanity, right? That is something that you need to do for number one, and don't feel guilty about it. Number two, let's talk about homeschooling from the beginning. When you are a beginner homeschooler, you are so nervous. And the very first thing that you do is that you go on social media, you go on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, you go on blogs, and you go look at these perfect stories, these perfect illustrations of how homeschooling is supposed to be, right? So you see these beautiful, well-manicured homes, and you see these well-manicured curriculums. You see all of the amazingness that you envision how a realistic homeschool should be, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, a lot of that is Photoshop. That mess is not true. Now, let me tell you, the reason why I say that is because if you are really homeschooling your kids, in my personal opinion, it's messy. There's no way you're going to have a toddler, a baby on your hip, teenagers, preteens in the house, all of you doing homeschooling, and you got books and papers and pens and crayons and markers and this and that and third, and your house going to be neat. Homeschooling is messy. You have to embrace the mess and clean up after you finish the rest. Hey, you heard that right? You have to just embrace it. Also know that when you go on these websites, when you go on these blogs, when you go on these YouTube channels, when you go on these Pinterest posts and you see all of this, remember, they can edit, they can stage it. It's nobody homeschool perfect. I don't care how long you've been homeschooling. I don't care how it's not perfect. So as a new beginner, do not get caught up in the unrealistic world thinking that it's going to be perfect. You're going to have it, just like life has its ups and downs, homeschooling has its ups and downs. You can glean inspiration and encouragement from seeing certain posts and things that may work for your homeschool, that work for their homeschool, but in essence, it's your homeschool experience, which means that you have to make it fit for your family. So yeah, you might see a Pinterest post, a YouTube video or something. You're like, oh, I think that might work for my child. But then you get it and you realize, this not working. I'm going to need to change this. I'm going to need to adjust this in order to fit our homeschooling experience. That's okay. Everything does not have to be cookie cutter. Everybody's experience is a little bit different. As homeschoolers, and if you're beginning, I don't want you to have unrealistic expectations. And then when you don't meet those expectations, you feel like a failure of yourself. And most of all, you feel like you're failing your children because you cannot meet the unrealistic things that you see on social media. Everything is not the way it seems. It's ups, downs. Some moments are amazing in homeschooling, and then some moments you'll be ready to pull your hair out because it's just one of those days. Someone's just said yes. Someone has a bad month. Let me tell you something. It's some of us that had a bad year. You know how I know it? It's because I'm a homeschooling consultant and I have heard it all. It's a lot of people that have been homeschooling 10, 15, 20 years that are veterans that gets my services. And I have to get them back on path, right? Of what their homeschooling experience is supposed to be. And what they desire. Because they get caught up too of the unrealistic expectations. And yes, Violet said Pinterest is not realistic. It is not realistic. How many of you know a kindergartner or a first grader that can cut out pictures perfectly and then meticulously lay the paper in order? It's not jumbled up. It's beautiful. It's well organized. How many of you got a first grader or a kindergartner or a pre-kindergarten child that can do that? But yet you see this on Pinterest posts. You see it on YouTube channels. You see it on Facebook all the time. You know that mama or that daddy will be over there helping that child cut that paper. Because at that age, they need to build fine motor skills. Most children have to work up to that. They don't automatically come up and be able to cut perfectly. They don't automatically know how to put things in sequential order. We have to teach them that, right? But yet when you see these Pinterest posts, you see, oh, look what I'm doing with my first grader, my second grader. And you look at it and then you compare yourself to that situation and then you feel some type of way and you want to quit. I'm here to tell you, don't believe the hype. Those same people are having problems too. They're just not going to let you know it. But over here at Homeschooling and Oils, we keep it real so that you will know that you are doing the right thing and you are doing the very best that you can currently do with the information that you currently have for your children. you're doing the best that you can. And now we're gonna tier in. We're gonna get a little bit deep. In each one of these tiers, we're gonna get a little bit deeper as time goes on. Violet has something else to say. She said, "Nope, not my kids." Yes. So sometimes we see these. I know when I first started and I saw these perfect Pinterest posts, YouTube channels, all this stuff, and I was looking, and then I get to doing that stuff. But number one, mine didn't never look like the Pinterest picture. No matter how hard we try, we can follow it. It always looked different, so keep in mind that some of that stuff is staged to look good for show, right? So don't feel bad if you can't get everything the way that you see it presented on social media, because some things are not, to be honest, some things are not truthful. Yes, they probably did the project, but it wasn't that perfect when they did it. So don't set yourself up for unrealistic, having that unrealistic viewpoint, because when you do that, what happens is you start getting yourself, when you don't reach that expectation, you start feeling really bad. You start feeling like a failure, and then that's going to trickle to the emotional well-being of your children. You're going to feel some type of way. Then you're going to trickle that over to your babies, and you wonder why you're having a stressful, unpleasant, not productive homeschooling experience, because you're setting yourself up for failure, because no one's homeschool is perfect. I don't care if you got a PhD, MD, BD out. Trust me, I consult individuals with so many letters behind their name, I don't even know what it means. And they have the same issues individuals who don't have it, because let's face it, we all live in real life, and we all have different things that come into play when we are homeschooling, and then when you're working, or then if you're sick and you're homeschooling, we all have different things that we have to deal with. Some of us have a good year, some of us don't have a good year, some of us have a good month, some of us don't. Realizing that homeschooling is similar to being on a roller coaster. You have your highs, your lows, and then you have some points where you're coasting, where everything is going all right. And then whoop, it's a roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down, and goes side to side. But it always ends up getting you to your end destination. Okay? So even if you have to make some turns, some curves, dip and do with your homeschooling year or experience, you're going to still end up with success, because number one, you didn't give up. Number two, you don't have unrealistic goals, but yet you're still challenging yourself along the way, and you're going to get it done at the end of the day. But don't feel like it has to be perfect, because no one's perfect. The next thing we're going to talk about is homeschooling blues. This is one of the things that, as homeschoolers, many of us don't want to admit, that some of us get very depressed during the homeschooling experience. Now, most of the time, individuals experience this during the winter months, when most of the country is going through depression because of the winter months, less sun, and all that good stuff like that. But listen, sometimes you feel depressed. Maybe it's because you're going through an illness, maybe because you're going through financial difficulty, maybe because you're going through a divorce, maybe because you're dealing with mental illness, and right now it's just not a good time for you with everything. And maybe you're going through one problem at the next, right? Or maybe you're a single parent and you just don't have support. Or maybe you're in a relationship and you just don't have support. Well, guess what? Your life and your homeschooling experience go together like this. When you're a homeschooler, it goes together like this. A lot of us call ourselves separating it, but when you're homeschooling, everything is merged together. And so when one area is suffering, watch what I say. When one area is suffering, you'll notice that other areas are suffering. And so how do you get it from not having that challenge? You have to address the issues. You have to address the problem so that you can move forward. And sometimes that takes time. She said, okay, we have a comment here. She said, hi, everyone. I tried to copy what I saw on social media in the beginning, and it wasn't for us. It didn't feel authentic. Now I pray and trust my instincts, and things have been smooth sailing. See, See, that's what I'm saying. Like when I first started, I did the same exact thing. I did the same exact thing as well. And what happened with me in particular, I call myself bringing the public school experience at home and called it homeschooling. We really need to, if you're going to homeschool your child, you need to homeschool your child. You don't need to, if you took them out of the public school system, you did it for a reason. So why are you going to mimic and copy what the public school system doing into the homeschooling experience and you expect a different outcome? It don't make any sense. So if it didn't work for them at the public school, and I'm not dissing public school because listen, I'm a product of public school. I'm just saying if it didn't work, then don't bring it home and think it's going to work. You have to figure out what that is that you need to do for your homeschool in order for it to work for you. Now, that might take some time. It might take 60, 90 days, a year before you really get your groove to know what works for each individual child. What you like, what they like, what you're more comfortable teaching, it takes time. Just like a relationship takes time. The homeschooling experience takes time for you to grow in it, to learn and to grow as you go through your homeschooling experience. And yes, it has ups and downs as you go. And if you are a person right now going through homeschooling blues, a lot of us are dealing with it now because of the COVID-19, the pandemic that's going on. And I don't need to say that too many times because they might bring the video down. Can't say them words. Ooh. But the situation that we are currently in, that's depressing. It's really depressing. You can't really go out like you want to do. And as homeschoolers, we are always on some type of field trip at some type of museum. And now we can't do all of that. And so now we have to get creative. And now we can't do what we are used to doing. And that can be depressing, to say the least. And then we can't do the things that we're accustomed to doing. She said, hello. Oh, hey. She said, hello, everyone. I think my biggest fear is creating a lesson plan for my 6-year-old and 11-year-old. Listen, you do not need to be fearful of creating a lesson plan. But I want to say this first. Thank you so much for being honest and transparent, because with honesty and transparency, that is where you will grow. That is where you will grow, because you're realizing that, hey, I do have a fear. I admit that now I can work some tangible things in order to make this happen. Now, let me just break it down to you how simple a lesson plan is. You do not have to really think up lesson plans. There are many lesson plans already on social media that you can Google and you can follow that. Or you could just figure out what your child like and just write it down and put curriculum to it. Curriculum is not just something that you buy in a box. Curriculum can be a magazine. Curriculum can be a book. A curriculum can be a chapter book. It can be a dictionary. Curriculum is what you make it to be, and in order to facilitate the learning experience. So it does not always have to be a traditional book. Now, with that being said, you can take a traditional book and use the table of contents as your lesson plan. Because think about it. When you open a book, what it's broken down to in the table of contents. If you have a regular school book or something like that, it's broken down into units. If you have a chapter book or a regular book, it's letting you know which page this is on. If you have an encyclopedia, it's broken down into sections. That is, in essence, a lesson plan. So we kind of overthink stuff, thinking that it has to be something grandiose, and it doesn't have to be. A lot of the stuff is already done for us. You just have to just use it or be creative and add in what you need and take out what you don't like, and turn it and adjust it and adapt it to your unique homeschool. For example, I have one child that has multiple learning differences, one of which is autism and dyslexia. So I cannot take any book and just go and use it as is. I have to adjust and adapt the information in order to fit my unique learner. My child does very good with visual and audio. So if I have a regular book, I do have him read. But I also make sure I have the audio version so that he can be independent and follow along his studies, just in case it get lost within translation, because it's very hard sometimes with this. My child has severe dyslexia, so it get very difficult to translate some of this with reading comprehension when you have a whole lot to do. So, but having the visual, having the audio and the visual, I have a lot of video textbooks for my child. Video textbook, so it's going through video, and then I have the audio version of whatever textbook that we have, and help my child be independent, help my child be able to comprehend some of the things, and what that child can't comprehend, I come in and do my guidance and help him along the way. But in essence, you can take the table of contents of a CD, a DVD, a book, a chapter book, and that can, in essence, be your lesson plan. Boom. Stop worrying. You got this. You got this. If you are that, if that does not give you comfort, then maybe you need to buy you a box curriculum where everything is already laid out and planned for you. You don't need to, because that is a big price point. In my opinion, you don't need to. But if it gives you a peace of mind, I encourage my individuals who I do my homeschooling consulting with. If it gives you a peace of mind, then you need to go ahead and buy you a box curriculum. But keep in mind that box curriculums can be very pricey based upon how your children learn, and based on what you're actually looking for in that particular curriculum and whether it's popular or not. Some curriculums are not that expensive, but they're not that popular. And some that are really, really popular, they're very, very expensive. And I'm telling you right now, most of them curriculums that are very, very expensive, you more than likely not even going to use the whole thing, because a lot of my homeschooling parents that I consult, they can't even get through one, because they realize it's not a good fit. So I teach them how to adapt what they currently have in order so they can, not waste their money. But it takes a little forethought and creativity to do that, but it can be done. But in all else fail, during the summer, what I want you to do is just take a book, look at the table of contents, and adapt it to make it your lesson plan. Boom. And if you need any more help, just set up a consultation with me. I can help you map out whatever you need to do to help you feel confident, because it's really not hard. You got this. The thing is, we have been teaching our children ever since they've been in the womb, ladies. Everything that they knew up to the point that until they went to public school, they learned from us. They learn from us. We've been teaching them since they've been in our body. And then all of a sudden we feel like once they get a certain age, start going to public school, we're like, I don't know if I can. Honey, you are the lesson plan. You're the lesson plan. Yes, you are. You already been doing it. You just didn't know you've been doing it. Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome. All right. So for all of you who are worried about curriculum, she in essence led to the last thing that we're going to talk about today. I am actually going to be doing a paparazzi kind of style book sale where everything is going to be $5 each. Of course, you're going to have to pay for the shipping. It's only going to be within the United States, because let me tell you, the shipping out of country is just too expensive. I mean, I don't see paying for a book that's $5 or $10 and then paying $25 to ship it. That don't make no logical sense to me. So that's why I don't ship outside the US, because it just don't make realistic sense to me. Not unless it's something you really, really, really want. But we're going to be doing a paparazzi style sale where all the books is going to be $5. And you can pick and choose. It's going to be live like this. I'm going to put some numbers on it. My son and I need to organize it. I'm going to put some labels on it. I'm like, okay, if you want number 5, book number 5, you put it down in the comments, put sold. Most of these things we either have one copy or a couple copies of, and that's it. I mean, so if you want it, you need to go ahead and get it. And we're going to work it out where you can either use Cash App or PayPal to pay for it. And it's only going to be within the United States so that you won't have to spend a lot of money. You will not have to spend a lot of money. It's going to be a $5 inspired. I kind of got the idea from Paparazzi with the $5 jewelry. So we're going to do us a $5 curriculum sale. I do have some things that are not $5 that are a little bit more. However, I'm not going to put those books inside this particular sale. Everything's going to be $5 less. I will have some things that are 10. I really don't have too many things that's over $20, but this one's going to be, everything going to be $5 or less. And then you can go ahead and stack up for the upcoming school year. We have all grade levels. We have a plethora of all subjects. And so it's going to be $5 each. And I'm going to be sharing that with you within the United States only because it's just too expensive otherwise. And it will be a shipping and handling fee because you have to pay for the shipping and handling, and the materials, meaning the little baggie that we got to put it in to ship it, because we dropped the price so low that you'll have to pay for that, which is probably about like $1.50 or something. It's not expensive for the extra little fee along with your shipping. But anyway, so we're going to do that for you. I'm working on getting that straight now, in the midst of the things that I am already doing within the community. If you guys want to be a part of what we're doing at healthehoneypot.com, that's HEAL, thehoneypot.com, where we are actually collecting funds. We are actually collecting funds in order to buy feminine and hygiene products in order to give to the Casa Family Systems in Orangeburg, South Carolina for free. We're going to give education in regards to female wellness. And we're also going to be, just making them feel good, because some of these women and young girls are in shelters. They coming from a domestic violent relationship or being neglected, and they have programs and different stuff. And we want to support them, and different businesses are coming together so that we can make this happen for them. We're going to be doing this July and August, and then September we are actually going to be doing the drop off so that we can help them in need. We do a lot of different things within the community. We're also going to be helping the female truckers, giving out PPE boxes, that's personal protective equipment. HealTheHoneyPot.com, that's HEAL thehoneypot.com. We're doing it for the she trucking community, keeping them happy, healthy, and safe during this situation that we are living through, because many of those truckers do not have protective equipment. And so thanks to Uber Freight, we're going to be able to give that out to them for free. And Kiva's, the Natural Choice Boutique and Gift Shop, is actually allowing us to use her amazing building, her business, to support the female truckers, so they can come over and they'll be able to get a discount and be able to get their free PPE and get a discount exclusively for them, to show our appreciation for everything that they do and bringing the materials that we need. Because let me tell you, if the truckers stop hauling the stuff, we will be in some bad shape. You think we don't have all of the stuff that we need now? If they stop trucking, oh my goodness, the world will stop, because they bring food, they bring clothing, they bring medical supplies, they bring everything, books, curriculum, everything that we use, everything that we need comes on some sort of truck or van in the trucking industry. So we need to support them and make sure we keep them safe, because a lot of them are actually getting that. I can't say it because I want them to take the video down, but they're actually they're actually getting sick because they're going into these places and they're not having the proper protection. So that's part of what we do here with Giving Back. Homeschooling Oils, HealTheHoneyPot.com, HEAL thehoneypot.com. We do it all. But with all that being said, I want you ladies to relax. I want the beginners, the homeschooling beginners, to know that you got this. Don't worry, you have it. You got this. And the ones who are currently going through homeschooling blues, you can eat some different foods like cherries. You can get you some basil essential oil and peppermint essential oil. Make sure it's all natural from a good source now, just not any old thing. And that will help you with the migraines. You can also get you some dark chocolate, which gives you that nice serotonin to help you feel better. You can also do some lavender, soak in a bath. Take some deep breaths and just relax. Sometimes you just need to watch something that makes you smile, right? Sometimes you just need to just know that everything is going to be okay. And it is. It's going to be okay. Homeschooling blues is actually part of the homeschooling experience. Nobody ain't never told you that, did they? Well, I'm here to tell you. That's why I'm breaking the stigma. I'm breaking these barriers, having these healthy conversations with you, because I don't want you to quit homeschooling because you feel like you're not reaching the cusp. And in essence, you are reaching it. It's just that life happens, and homeschooling, just like life, have ups and downs. And for the most part, I don't know why homeschoolers on YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, I don't know why we don't just be honest and let homeschoolers know that it's going to take time for you to find your groove. It's going to take time for you to understand what your homeschooling, when you begin, and what your homeschooling going to be, what you want it to become, what your desire and goal is for you and your children. That takes time. And you still have to live life in the same essence. So if you're going through something traumatic, it's definitely going to trickle into your homeschool. But that don't mean that you're failing your children. That don't mean that you're failing yourself. That just means that you need to figure out how to master what is currently going on in your life and adjust and take breaks when necessary. You don't need to try to push through all the time when you're having a difficult time. Sometimes you just need to sit back and take a break and get your bearings together, and then start fresh tomorrow or the next week or the next month. Sometimes you need a mental sick day or month. She said, right, it's constantly evolving. It is. And that's what I want. And that's why on my channel, I'm totally honest and transparent with you. The ups, the downs, the milestones, the wonderful moments, the moments where you have those moments where you're like, man, yeah, this is what I realistically and ideally wanted for my homeschool. You're going to have those moments, but you're also going to have those moments where you don't want to even share that you feel some type of way because you're afraid someone's going to judge you, because you feel like, well, I chose this life. I chose the homeschooling world. So I don't have any reason to ever say or complain or listen, we all have those moments. I'm here to tell you that we all have those moments. I don't care how long, if you just started or you just have been 2-3 years in, or maybe 10, 20. All of us go through those moments. You know how I know is because I'm a homeschooling consultant and I speak to everyone. I've had individuals who've been homeschooling 15, 20, 25 years, individuals who just started, individuals who have 3 to 5 years, and everybody has the same issues, the same problems, the same challenges, the same similar circumstances, but they feel some type of way when they see these Pinterest, YouTube, and all this. Don't get caught up in all of that fantasy world. Yes, we do. Thank you. So that's why my channel is so different from any other channel that you might see. Is because not only do I address these issues, I tackle it head on, and then I provide resources that, hey, you can use this essential oil, you can eat this food, you can exercise, you can do this right here. Let's just talk about it, just spill our heart out so that we can heal from the inside out and then move forward, be able to help not only ourselves, but our children at the same time, because all of us be struggling sometimes. I'm a homeschooling consultant. Sometimes I be like, oh, child, I have a homeschooling buddy. So when I have my moment, I call her. I be like, listen, even though I know all the answers, but realistically, I need to just vent. Sometimes you just need to vent. Just need to let it out so you can feel better. So that's why, we have a comment. She said 8 years in and we have moments, but you work through them and take breaks when needed. Yes. Thank you for not only saying that, but also sharing to let the other homeschoolers know that that is normal. That is a part of the homeschooling experience. Homeschooling, the journey, is like a relationship. You grow, you learn, you evolve with it, everything, it's a relationship. Like, basically, that's the best way I can describe it. Because even with a relationship, you're not happy all the time. No matter if you love the person with all your heart, you ain't happy all the time. You have your moments up, down, side to side, right? So that's how homeschooling is. But in essence, it's a beautiful, beautiful experience and journey. Embrace it. The good, the bad, the amazing euphoria moments. Embrace it all. Because all of it, in essence, make up the homeschooling experience. And all of them, in essence, prepare our beautiful babies for the outside world. Letting them know that everything is not going to go your way all the time. No matter how well planned you are, life happens. But how do you problem solve and adjust and move forward and learn how to maneuver through the current situation that you're going through? That's in essence living life. We're teaching them skills that they can actually use in the outside world. She said, I truly enjoy your channel. It's a great deal. I learned a lot from your channel and appreciate your transparency. Oh, thank you for being a subscriber and following us. I appreciate you. Yes. She said, yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all of my subscribers because you have thousands and thousands and millions of people that you can pick from in order to share your time with. I appreciate everyone who ever subscribed to my channel, who are currently still rocking with Homeschooling Oils, everyone who is rocking with healthehoneypot.com. That's HEAL, thehoneypot.com. Everyone who ever support me or is currently support me, I appreciate all of you because I feel that with transparency, that's where you can have your true growth. That's how you can heal. That's how you can grow. That's how you can inspire and empower the next woman or person that may be going through what you're going through. You don't really help somebody or don't really help individuals if you hiding behind a facade. If you're hiding behind a facade, you're not really helping anyone. You're just lying. And for those of you who don't like to say the word lie, some of you say story. I didn't mean to offend, but I mean, it is what it is. So that's why I'm breaking that. I'm like, no. We got to be honest with this situation. We have to be honest. We're going to have ups, downs. We're going to have it. We're going to have it. That don't mean you're a failure. That don't mean that you're failing your children. That don't mean that you less than of. That just means that you're human, okay? But in essence, we're going to still rock this homeschool. We can do anything that we put our mind to, and we're going to teach our children tenacity and pushing through and helping them so that they can be productive citizens and be able to problem solve. Homeschooling teach you to really problem solve. Okay, if you have more than one child, it teach you how to work a budget like nobody business. But that's what I wanted just to talk to you guys about because I volunteer in a lot of different groups. And like I said, I'm a homeschooling consultant and I talk with so many. And these are just some of the things that the emotional aspect of homeschooling. Everyone talk about the surface stuff, curriculum, learning differences or special needs. They talk about gifting and talent, what online course, what is the best resource to buy. Yeah, we all talk about that because that's part of the homeschooling experience. But what about the emotional side of homeschooling that no one wants to talk about, that some of you feel like you about to go crazy? What about that? Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not crazy. That's part of the homeschooling experience, but nobody don't want to tell you that. So don't get caught up in them Pinterest posts, them YouTube videos, and them Facebook. Don't you get caught up. If it look too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, cause it is. I guarantee after they snap that picture with them kids like this right here with that perfect, them kids probably right after it snap, they like them children was only still long enough to take that picture. And then after that, here goes the stuff on the clothes and everything because it's life. I mean, children going to be children. You can't expect them to be perfect because we're not. She said, can you say it again for people in the back of the room? Yes, child. Can I say it again? Yes, I can. Your homeschool is not going to be perfect. And I am here to talk about the uncomfortable in order to make us comfortable. That's dealing with education. That's dealing with health and wellness. That's dealing with homeschooling. That's dealing with our bodies as females when we dealing with body odor, We dealing with yeast infections, all that stuff. I talk about all of this, and then I give you what I feel is the solution because it helped me. It helped so many other women. So we talk about all these other things so that we can be totally informed and educated on these matters and stop being ashamed and know that this is just part of the life experience or the homeschooling experience. And we just have to keep it moving at the end of the day. You are doing the very best that you can currently do with the current information that you have. And you are doing amazing. Never forget that. Never forget that you are doing the very best that you can do with the current information that you have. And you're doing better than some, doing better than most. Tackling homeschooling, life, being a mom, being a wife, being a girlfriend, being a daughter, being a friend. That's not easy. Some of you working, some of you sick in homeschooling, some of you going through a divorce in homeschooling, some of you going through a broken relationships. Some of you have children that are sick and you're homeschooling them, and you have to deal with the day-to-day life of taking your children to and from the doctors and then homeschooling them in the midst of that, because you know that them going to school is really going to be difficult for them because they are already have a weak immune system and you don't want them to get sick. So you took it upon yourself and put your life on hold in order to make your children and have your children in a safe environment. So how can that be wrong? How can you be failing them if you're doing all that? Even if you had a rough day or a rough week or a worse month. Man, forget this. Even if you had a bad year, how can you be failing when you did all of that and showing them all the love, the nurturing, the development, and teaching them through them watching you? Your children learn even if you don't crack open a book. Your children are learning from watching you, learning from watching me. They're learning. They're soaking it up. So what are we teaching them? All right. So don't worry about it. You got it. Be transparent. Be honest. Yes, you're going to have homeschooling blues. Yes, sometimes you're going to be like, what in the world? I said I'm going to homeschool. This is just too much. But then the next thing you know, you realize your why, or why you started homeschooling in the beginning. And if you're homeschooling because of what happened with the world, I can't say it because I want them to pull down my video, because I already said it a couple times, so I won't say it again. So you know the current situation. Got to wear the mask and stuff. I can't say it because they'll beam my video. But even if you did not anticipate homeschooling your children, but now you thrust upon this homeschooling world, embrace it and learn as you go. And learn as you go. You will be all right. Just make sure you follow the rules and the regulations within your personal state to make sure that you're legal to homeschool, because yes, you do have to be legal in most states in order to homeschool. Have to have documentation and a physical withdrawal of your children out of the school system with documents. So make sure you check. Make sure you check to make sure what you have to do in your particular state. But in essence, you guys, you got this. You got this. You can do this, and you can do it well. Just don't get caught up in those unrealistic expectations. Take and glean some inspiration from what you see on Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. But don't get caught up in the fantasy world thinking it's going to be perfect, thinking that it's just not realistic. A lot of this stuff is not realistic. So if you see that you doing something that you found from a Pinterest post or a YouTube channel and it didn't work out for you, then maybe it might not be what it's cracked up to be, right? And maybe it just might not be for you or your homeschool. Simple as that. Every curriculum don't work for everybody, no matter if it's designed for that particular type of learner. And you'll learn that no matter if something is designed for a particular type of learner, you will find that it don't always work for your learner. Meaning there's a lot of dyslexia curriculum out there. But I'm here to tell you, I done been through most all of it. And it just because it was saying it was for a child with dyslexia, it did not work for my child. I had to figure some stuff out myself. Yeah, I had to figure some stuff out for myself. So just because it said it helped this child and that child and blah, 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 that don't necessarily mean that it's going to help your child. And you have to understand that. Curriculum is just curriculum. You can take a newspaper and that could be curriculum. You can take a sales paper from the grocery store and guess what that is? Your math curriculum. You can take a dictionary and guess what that is? Your language arts and spelling. You don't have to have a name brand curriculum for everything. We get caught up in these names and these facades. We don't have to have all that. It's ways that you can homeschool and you don't have to break the budget, but you got to be confident to know that you know that you know that you're doing the best thing for your family. Because sometimes when you don't use a traditional curriculum, you feel like, oh, if I don't use this name brand high-end curriculum, then I'm failing my children. Well, honey, you can have that high-end name brand curriculum and it still don't work. How do I know? It's because I have a lot of it up in this house. And I went right back to my old school stuff. Yes, I did. Because it didn't work for me. You know when it did work was when I changed the definitions or I changed the directions. I had to literally go in and adapt and change the directions on a lot of high-end curriculum because how it was written and how it was done, it just did not fit my family. It did not fit my type of learner. So don't get caught up in them names. Just because it's been out for years and years and years, that don't mean it's going to work for you. You make the curriculum work. The curriculum don't make it work. You make it work. You figure it out. And curriculum can be whatever. It can be whatever. Curriculum can be something orally you speak from your mouth, telling your child about personal experience, sharing your personal family history, and then mapping them through what your family tree looked like. What you just taught them? Geography. What did you just teach them? History. What did you just teach them? Lineage. What did you just teach them? Social studies. And then if you start getting into the years of when your family members went here, did this, did that, guess what you're doing? Math. It's how you look at it. You don't always have a math book in your hand to be teaching math. You don't always have to have a geography book in your hand to be teaching geography. You can get up in your car and drive around in your town, and that's geography. You know how? Because you can go to every city and state, have historical parts of their town. That is history. That is geography. And you can talk about it. You can even find different videos on it. You can go to the museum, and guess what that is? That's curriculum without a book. It's how you view it. It's how you use it. It's how you do it. We don't have to be conformed to what we have been conditioned to think is learning, what categorized as a learning experience. You don't always have to have a book. You don't. Books are helpful. They are useful, but you don't always have to have one. You guys, this homeschool experience is bigger than all of us, and it's multifaceted, which means there's so many different ways that you can grow. It's so many different ways that you can learn. And as a homeschooling mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, you are learning too, because you're going to learn in order so you can teach them better. And it's going to build your family stronger. You're going to notice it. You will see. You're going to start changing yourself as you homeschool, because now you're learning with them. You're going to have experiences that you will never have otherwise when you homeschool your children, because you're going to get to know yourself. You're going to get to know your children better. They're going to get to know you, and you are going to start dreaming and living better than you ever did. I didn't start living and dreaming and doing my own business until I started homeschooling my children, and I was looking for ways in order to help them have a better experience. Then I start seeing, well, hey, I need to start dreaming too. I need to start dreaming too. And then all of us, I'm teaching them they need a dream. They can be an entrepreneur. They can have a blue collar job. They can work for somebody. They can work for themselves. They can provide the jobs for other people. I'm telling them all this, but I didn't see it for myself. And I said, wait a minute, hold on, Tina. You need to practice what you preach. Do you really believe what you're teaching them? Yes, I do. Well, let me dig deep inside of myself so that I can do what I'm teaching my children to do. So I can help them see that it begins with me. And then they can choose to do whatever they want to do. But I want to make sure I have it available, that they can have every opportunity that they desire, or at least have information that they can have, that if they want to be an entrepreneur, if they want to be a business owner, if they want to work for somebody, if they want to be an intern, whatever they decide to do, they will have enough information to go on that they will be able to do whatever they desire to do. Everybody don't want to be an entrepreneur. Some people want to work in a factory. That's fine. But what is it that make you happy? Some children don't want to go to college. Some do. So what? Someone just go to trade school to learn, get a skill, and then work. So yes, she said, yes, be the example. So that's what I had to learn how to do for myself. And now I'm helping my children because they are learning from watching me. They're learning from watching me and my husband. So it's so much this homeschooling experience is going to just bring out of not only your babies, but you too. I guarantee it. You start homeschooling and doing it, you will see. You start learning yourself as a parent. So, and it's gonna be scary at first, but then you're gonna fall right on the line. You're gonna do great. So with all that being said, I did not mean to talk to you guys for almost an hour. So I'm going to be popping on and off, sharing different things on this homeschooling journey, looking for the moments that I can share the different things with being transparent, being honest with yourself, having those mental or emotional checkups. Sometimes you need to check yourself to see how you're doing emotionally, mentally, so to speak. Because right now with everything that's going on, my personal opinion is everybody going through PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. I feel like the whole country going through it because all of us is going through some things. It's no possible way you living in the United States and you not feeling this in some way, shape, or form. If you don't know you feeling, that's your problem. You don't know that you're being affected because everyone is affected in some kind of way. Even if you have strong faith, it's still difficult. It's still difficult. Some of us are dealing with a little bit more than others because some of us have challenges dealing with depression. But we have to do these mental checkups. You're welcome. We have to be honest with ourselves so that we can grow. And we can do this by being transparent, being honest, and letting the ones know, homeschoolers know that it's not perfect. Let them know you're going to have your wonderful days. You're going to have your bad days. You're going to have the days where you want to quit, but you're going to keep on going. Everybody have it. Everybody have it. But at the end of the day, no matter your ups or downs, just like the roller coaster, your ups and downs, but guess where you always end up? At the finish line. No matter how many turns and curves and ups and downs and left and right you go to and fro, you always end up at the finish line. That's homeschooling. That's life. So no matter what you're currently going through, just know that that's part of your homeschooling personal experience. And never get so consumed with other people's homeschooling experience where it start dictating your homeschooling experience and making you feel like you are failing, because you're not. Because their experience is theirs and yours is yours. With all that being said, my amazing homeschooling oils family, I am Tina Ramsey, the founder and CEO of Homeschooling and Oils, keeping you happy, healthy, and safe. I am also the founder and CEO of HealTheHoneyPot.com, the #1 place, your natural hub That's HEAL, thehoneypot.com, your natural hub for resources, sisterhood, empowerment, wellness products, including the amazing Jewel Premium Sanitary Napkin that we endorse, that is actually helping with so many different problems that women usually experience and young girls when they have their menstrual flow, helping to ease the cramps, helping with unpleasant aroma, helping with boosting the metabolism, immune system, hormonal secretions, and so much more. So you can book your consultation with us for a wellness consultation or your homeschooling consultation as spots are available. With all that being said, I'll keep you in the loop about the upcoming paparazzi inspired book sale so that you can also homeschool, but homeschool on a budget and don't have to spend a lot of money with doing so, because we are doing what we can do in order to cut the cost on your homeschooling experience and stuff like that. So I am working hard behind the scenes so I can get that done for you before school starts. And with all that being said, you guys have a great, amazing rest of your Sunday. Thank you for giving me some of your time, because time is one of the most valuable commodities. And I am so honored and so thankful that you think enough of me to share a little bit of your time with me. So for that, I'm truly thankful. And until next time, Homeschooling Oils, have a great, amazing rest of your day. And remember, you got this. You got this. You know how I know it? Because I got it, so you got it. And I'm no different than you. On that note, bye.